Hey everybody, it's me, Alex Garcia, aka the COG, coming at you from ComboClique.com. As always, here to bring you the best day of the week, New Comic Book Day. And we got ourselves a heck of a new comic book day. Probably gonna be a little controversial here, guys. And we're gonna start with probably the most anticipated book of the last few weeks. We're gonna talk about Absolute Batman number 15 by Scott Snyder and Jock. This is finally the full first appearance of the Absolute Joker. A lot of people have been looking forward to this. We've been getting sprinklings of this world's Joker throughout different issues of the Absolute Batman run so far, and now we seem to have the full-fledged origin of this world's Joker. I'm hearing a lot of early stuff. Most people seem to really dig this. I was a little underwhelmed by this. Coming off the heels of that fantastic Abomination story with Bane at the center of it all, this feels a little bit more of the same to me. And I read it twice because I really wanted it to hit, because I know that everybody's anticipating this issue, but it just kind of didn't hit me that way. What I am hoping is that most of the story is told from the perspective of Alfred giving intel to Batman. I'm hoping his intel is wrong. I'm hoping this is kind of a subterfuge or just misinformation, that maybe a lot of what Alfred thinks he knows about this Joker is wrong, and that comes to head later on. What I did like and what I am very excited for is how the issue ends and the extra details we do get that seem to be definitive, that come from this world's Joker, and where it ends, and where you see you can see how the Joker and the Batman will forever be opposite sides of the same coin. So I like the way it ended, and I'm looking forward to where it's going. And I'm really hoping that most of this is incorrect, that it's just kind of like in the regular DC universe, where we always get different details that aren't quite correct about the Joker's origin. I'm really hoping that that's what Scott Snyder's setting up here. The artwork on this, though, is fantastic. It's great to see Scott Snyder reunited with Jock. They've had many great stories in the past together, so seeing this duo come back together for this issue was a lot of fun. But it just, coming off of we're already seeing this mutated character in Bane, seeing a mutated Joker, it just felt like a little bit more of the same. And the story of Bane felt so epic, whereas this one felt just lackluster a little bit to me, guys. Tell me I'm wrong. Let me know. Do I need to read it a third time? Let's talk about it. This is though a big issue though. So if you've already been reading Absolute Batman like I am, don't miss it. And let's jump over to Boom Studios. Let's talk about some minor Arcana, guys. We got Jeff Lemire on this, and Jeff seems to be tackling art and story once again. Guys, this book continues. If you know great Jeff Lemire books, Underwater Welder, Royal City, all those books that he has written on his own and drawn on his own, you can see this is where his heart and soul lies. And this story just continues to build on the mystery of this town that Therese is coming back to, where she's finding out that things she thought were right, and things she's now seeing as wrong are completely wrong, right? She continues to explore the mystery of the town while also delving more into the abilities that she seems to have unlocked that she never knew she had, or never knew anybody could have. Jeff, you always do a great job telling these kind of stories, and you just keep sucking me more and more into the mystery of what is happening in this town. It just feels like every issue is just peeling an onion open, and it's just, the onion just seems to be getting bigger. So great stuff, guys. If you don't know how great Minor Arcana is, it's only 12 issues in, and I guarantee you can find the back issues. If you can't find the back issues, pick up the trades. Boom always has great prices on those, so don't miss out. If you know Jeff, pick up these books. Let's jump over to Image. Transformers number 27 Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora here on the art with this great Dan Nakamura DNA cover. Guys, Robert is really blowing up the universe now, right? Whereas with Daniel Warren Johnson, he seemed to have, as big as this Energon universe was, as big as the Transformers universe was, he kept it kind of small. Robert is just expanding the characters and just going all over the place and expanding the universe. We got mass characters in this constantly. We have G.I. Joe characters in this constantly. The amount of Autobots and people even changing sides. If you're not reading, I don't want to completely spoil it, but I am loving it. I'm really loving seeing Dan Mora on the art. I know some people are saying that they miss that gritty texture of Daniel Warren Johnson's art or Jorge Corona's, but like Dan is showing that he can flex some of that in the book. There is more grit. Like if you know Dan Mora can be very, very clean. But in this issue, he's showing more that he can add that grit and that polish. And he's only going to be around for a few issues, it seems. It seems like he's only going to be around for, I think I'm hearing 6 issues. So I'm enjoying it while it lasts. And also I'm kind of looking forward to who's next on board. But in the meantime, Robert, you're killing it. I'm really loving how this is expanding and how this is going to lead into what's happening in Void Rivals. If you're not reading Void Rivals, that's another book you got to be reading, and we get a nice preview of what's to come in this issue in Void Rivals and seeing more again of how all of this is going to tie together. Don't miss it. If you're reading Transformers, do not miss out. Check it out. And that other great universe that's being built beautifully in Image, the Unnamed Universe, Geiger, number 19 by, as always, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank back on the art. We had that nice kind of little one and done story for Geiger, our buddy Geiger, and what he's dealing with in that prison. We saw like him delving more into what it is he feels he needs to do, getting a bit of a power upgrade. Now we get back to the glowing woman, see what's happened to her since she dealt with Geiger. This was a fantastic issue, really getting into what role the glowing woman now is going to play in this world. And we get a fun cameo at the end to show what Jeff Johns and company are doing over there, that we're going to see how all those unnamed universe characters are continuing to collide. This was a great one and done, as well as a setup issue for what's to come. Beautiful stuff over there. Jeff and company, you're killing it. This needs more exposure, guys. And if you want more exposure, make sure you're checking out our reviews on the website, because a lot of the writers over there are giving this stuff attention. And if you're missing out on it, catch up. The Unnamed Universe, guys. Don't miss it. And let's jump over to Marvel, where we got Amazing Spider-Man number 17, Joe Kelly and Pepe Larraz back in the art, which means we are back in space. In this issue, we got Pete and company continuing to just venture out into space. Peter's desperately trying to figure out ways to get stronger and stronger and stronger, while all the meantime, Rocket and company are kind of like, what the hell are we doing with this human in tow? What is going on? Pete has this kind of new romantic relationship going on with this alien character, kind of interesting. And in this issue, though, it seems like Peter finally figures out how to get to that next level, how to confront his fears, how to confront his own issues, how to get to that next strength. And finally, it seems like he's going to head back home. What's he going to encounter when he gets back home with Ben and Norman doing what they're doing with his life? It should be very, very interesting. I'm really enjoying this, but I am also happy that it's finally wrapping up, and I can't wait until issue 19, because hopefully that's going to be where everything comes back together, because we have to conclude in the next issue what Ben and Norman have going on. Joe, continue to show your love for Peter, and that's one thing I do love seeing, and I'm going to stick with it. And if you've been enjoying it, you're definitely going to enjoy this, because Pepe really killed it on the art on this issue. Don't miss it. And let's talk about that Ultimate Universe that Marvel has coming to a soon conclusion, unfortunately. We got Ultimate Spider-Man number 23. We got Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cicchetto, and David Messina on this extra-sized issue. Things are coming to a head. Endgame is coming. Pete and company, everybody is highlighted in this shit. We got Pete doing what he's got to do. We got Green Goblin and the Mysterion Collective doing what they're doing. Kingpin and Mr. Negative are going at it. All the while, we have Richard Parker and Black Cat doing what they're doing. Lots happening in this issue. It's why it's exercised. They're really trying to funnel it down to what's going to happen now in the final issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, right? 24 issues. Next issue is the last issue. Don't miss this issue. So much happens. So much is being set up. And it's all going to lead directly into Endgame. The art, I was upset with the way they had to bounce back and forth between David Messina and Marco Cicchetto. But I'm guessing this was kind of maybe a last minute change of plans, and that's why they had to do it this way. But all in all, the story is still fantastic. Can't wait for the next issue, and I can't wait to see how it all goes into Endgame. Don't miss it. Speaking of titles that are finishing, we got Ultimate Black Panther, number 23, by Brian Hill and Carlos Nieto. Guys, in the last issue, we saw Storm being forced to birth the son of T'Challa. His son grows up immediately to become like the vessel for the Vodalcon's god. He makes quick work of this world's Doctor Strange. That was jarring to see. It just goes to show kind of like what happened in Ultimate X-Men with a certain character over there. I don't want to spoil that if you haven't read it. But here it's just showing that in this Ultimate Universe, all things are game and no character is safe. But in this, T'Challa finally deals with a lot of that stuff that, with this newborn crazy son of his and the Vodalcan and the progenitors. And we still have one more issue to go. And a lot happens in this issue. It's high paced. It's so much is happening. It's super action packed. And like I said, we still have one more issue, and all of that is going to lead straight into Endgame. So if you've been reading Black Panther, do not miss this one, because a lot happens. If you miss this issue, you're going to be like, well, what happened? Check it out. Don't miss it. Speaking of stuff that's just happening and things going off the wall, we got Ultimate Wolverine number 12 by Chris Condon and Alessandro Cappuccio. I've been keeping track of this from month to month, and you saw that for a while, the underground was just victory after victory after victory. The last issue, though, Colossus and company unleashed this attack that took out the entire underground except for Wolverine and his Sentinel. However, Wolverine's like, I'm not done. He takes that Sentinel and he brings the fight straight to them. He's obsessed with having to save Ultimate Jean Grey. He's saying, if I'm going to do one last thing with the last bit of power I have with the Sentinel and with what I can do, I'm going to save this person who kept me sane in my head. Who is this person? Where are they? What are they being used for? And that's his whole plan. Really, really nice seeing what he does in this issue. Don't want to completely spoil what happens, but a lot happens. And again, this is all leading into Ultimate Endgame. Things are happening fast. Some people felt like this title was a bit of the other book because it does kind of come out of nowhere. We did cover it recently, but the last bunch of issues, things have happened fast. And now that we have Wolverine with a new ally, I see how that factors into Endgame. Should be very, very interesting. So if you've been enjoying Ultimate Wolverine like I have, definitely don't miss this issue. And speaking of being in crazy worlds, we got Marvel Knights, The Punisher, The World to Come, right? This is covering the years before exactly what's happening in the world to come. This shows us how the Punisher is this old grizzled man. He's dealing with this new mafia, so to speak, and they have this new drug called Zombie, and they're using it on Frank now to control him, and they're using him to do his bidding. Jimmy Palmiotti and Dan Panosian, killing it on the art. Jimmy Palmiotti's just channeling, I feel like, all those old school mafia movies where people just get shot in the face on a regular basis and just hyper violence is happening, and Dan is drawing it beautifully. They used Frank to do a lot of their nasty bidding. He finally breaks out of that, but he feels so guilty. He does something that I couldn't believe. I was like, whoa, how is this gonna change Frank? And it really, really does. The way this issue ends and where the next issue is gonna be the last issue of this little series. Can't wait to see how it goes. And now I'm starting to see potentially how this book ties into this whole new world to come. And that's what we got here for this week. Lots of explosive issues, lots and lots of actions, and a little bit of controversy, I feel, on my part, because I feel like a lot of people are super excited for that Absolute Joker. Kind of fell a little flat for me. I'm going to give it another chance. I really hope the story does turn. But guys, let's talk about it. Okay, let's keep the comments going. Let me know how you felt about the Absolute Joker. Let me know how you feel about everything that's happening with the Ultimate Universe. We got the Endgame. And let's talk about this unnamed universe and, of course, as always, the Energon universe. Like, share, and subscribe to all this stuff, guys. Make sure you follow us on YouTube, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our X. We got so much stuff happening. Please, please, please make sure if you want more in-depth reviews for everything I just covered here, I guarantee if you check out our website, comicbookclique.com, we have a team of writers now. They are pumping out these wonderful, detailed reviews where we're really keeping the conversations going on why you need to be reading all these books and more. So thank you guys. Really appreciate, as always, the time. Let's keep like I said, I keep saying it, let's keep the conversation going. Make sure you visit our Patreon, guys, because the more you're able to give to us, the more issues I'm able to pick up, the more issues I'm able to review, and we can just keep the conversation going. So thank you as always, guys, and as always, keep print alive and read more comics. Later.